Hello, so in this tutorial we're going to create a DB cluster and connect to a database on an Amazon Aurora DB instance. So the easiest way to create an Amazon Aurora DB cluster is to use the Amazon RDS console. So once you have created the DB cluster, you can use standard MySQL utilities such as MySQL Workbench to connect to a database on the DB cluster. I'll give you the link for MySQL Workbench to how to download and install it. But before you create a DB cluster, you must first have an Amazon Virtual Private Cloud or VPC and an Amazon RDS DB subnet group. Okay, so your VPC must have at least 2 subnets in at least 2 availability zones. So you can use the default VPC for your AWS account, or you can just create your own VPC. It's completely up to you. So the Amazon RDS console makes it easier for you to create your own VPC for use with Amazon Aurora, or use an existing VPC with your Aurora database cluster. So first thing first, you have to launch an Aurora DB cluster. So first you go to RDS, you click on RDS, click on Get Started Now. So you see here there is an option free tier eligible only. Okay, so when you click on free tier, it says Amazon Aurora is not eligible for free tier. Okay, this is that. But of course MySQL Community Edition is free. MariaDB is free. Postgres, of course, is free. Oracle, you can use, these are eligible for free tier. And this one is just the Server Express is free, eligible for free tier, and pretty much that's it. But right now we care about this engine, which is Amazon Aurora. So you select this one, okay? So now it's time to choose your DB instance class. We're just gonna go with db.r3.large, okay? We're not gonna go with multi, as you can see, it specifies if the DB instance should have a standby deployed in another availability zone. Because it's just for a test right now, we're not going to do that. So DB instance identifier, Roham, master password. Okay. So, oops, I think I made a mistake here. Okay, next step. Okay, so now, since I don't have any existing VPC, I'm asking AWS to create a new VPC for me. Okay, a virtual private cloud. And of course, create me new DB subnet groups for me. I want to make it accessible. No preference in the availability zone. It's going to create me a new security group. Database cluster identifier, Roham. Database name, Roham. So the identifier, will be created along with your instance, okay? If you do not provide one, a default identifier based on the instance identifier will be used. So the cluster identifier is used in determining the cluster's endpoint. So the endpoint is basically the way to connect to your database, okay? It will give you the point to connect to your database, okay? So parameter group, we're just gonna go with default because it is 5.6, okay? Enable encryption. No, we don't need the encryption right now. And the priority. What is the priority here? So Amazon Aurora allows you to create up to 15 read replicas, okay? To increase read throughput and for use as failover targets, okay? So the replicas share storage with the primary instance and provide lightweight, fine-grained replication that is almost synchronous with a replication delay on order of 10 to 20 milliseconds, okay? So each replica is now associated with a priority tier, 0 to 15. So in the event of a failover, Amazon RDS will promote the read replica that has the highest priority, okay? Tier 0 has the highest priority to the lowest number, which is tier 15. So if two or more replicas have the same priority, RDS will promote the one that is the same size as the previous primary instance, okay? So we'll just ignore this for now. And the backup is between 1 to 35 days. So we can choose 1 to 35 days. I'm just gonna go with 5. I don't need enhanced monitoring, so I'll just disable that one. I don't need any upgrade or anything like that. So now we'll just click on launch the DB instance, okay? Now it's going to, so it's saying that your database instance is being created. Your instance may take a few minutes to launch. So now you can click on here. You'll see that it's being created. There is no available yet endpoint, which makes sense because it's creating the instances for me. So if you go to VPC, you'll see that there is one VPC with this IPv4 CIDR 172.30.0.0/16. If you go to the subnets, it's creating for me 6 subnets, okay, in different availability zones. And if you go to EC2, I don't have an instance. I'm gonna actually have another lecture about like EC2 instance and why is it being used. Okay. The RDS is creating my database right now. My SQL engine is Aurora, and this is my cluster endpoint. Okay. Perfect. Just need to give it a time. So basically, once Amazon RDS provisions your DB cluster and creates the primary instance, as you can see here, this is the one DB instance created. You can use, as I said, any standard SQL client application to connect to a database on the DB cluster. But in this example, you connect to a database on the DB cluster using MySQL monitor commands, okay? So one GUI-based application that you can use to connect is MySQL Workbench, okay? I'll just show you where they can find and download it. Just go to this page. And if you just click on no thanks, just start my download, you should be able to download this application, okay? So to connect to a database on a DB cluster using the MySQL monitor, first you have to choose cluster and choose database, okay, from the list here, okay. Then you have to copy the value here, which is this one. Just copy it, okay. So basically this endpoint is the cluster endpoint, okay. Now we have to go to MySQL Workbench. Let's just close this one. Let's see if it's available or not yet. It's not still available. But what you have to do, you have to go to database, connect to database, and your host name is going to be your cluster endpoint. The port is 3306, okay? So the port is 3306 for database, for Aurora. And if you want to just use that one, you have to specify the port number. Okay, this is the database port. The username, as you remember, was my name, which is Roham. Okay. Still creating, so if I just click on connect, I don't think it will be able, yeah, still working on it. I have to wait for a couple of other minutes to connect to this database. But there are a lot of benefits of using AWS Aurora, because using hardware specially built for Aurora, AWS has come up with a service that is tightly integrates database with hardware. Okay, so basically Aurora delivers over 500,000 selects per second and 100,000 updates per second. That is 5 times higher than MySQL 5.6, running the same benchmark on the same hardware. So there's a huge difference, okay? And of course the 15 tiers of read replica. So as you can see, my Aurora MySQL is available right now. So here's the endpoint, port, username. Just click on it. Now it's asking for the password. I type my password. And here we go. This is Roham database. This is the database instance. And these are tables, views, stored procedures, and functions. So you can just write your own query here and make queries. Read documents about this MySQL Workbench. It's a great tool. I use it a lot. I use the dashboard, network status, MySQL status, database status. So everything is like very clear. And as I said, it's free. You can use it for your connection to your database. And pretty much that's it. And my server is running, as you can see. Socket port 3306. Compiled for Linux. Okay. What other information we can find? Private key, pump. Okay. So one more thing. If it's for testing, Once you have connected to the sample database cluster you created, you can delete the database cluster, database subnet group, and VPC. Okay? So you can just go ahead and delete this cluster. Okay? Delete acknowledge, and you delete that. And it says delete. But make sure you go to VPC and also delete your VPC from here. I don't think you should be able to delete it now because your database is not deleted yet. Once the database is deleted completely, then please come back here and delete your VPC. Okay? Because this one's still here and deleting. Okay? So that was it, guys. Please let me know if you have any questions. If not, then I'll see you in the next video. Take care.